Hi, in this video we'll be going over the continuation of the csharp.net video tutorials. So in this video we'll be going over the image list control. So the image list control allows you to store a collection of images at runtime. So you use it along with a picture box. So you can retrieve an image from an image list control and display it in a picture box control. So an image list control is a container that can hold multiple images. As its name implies, it is a list of images, so it's a list, it's a data structure. You can use an index to retrieve an image from an image list control, so like an array or like a list. And you can display the image in a picture box control, so you use it along with a picture box control. So the docs that I have here, they use the design editor. So I've tried to scramble up some code to just like actually show how to code the objects itself. What else we have here? Okay, so we talked about this in the notes a bit. So all the images have to be stored in an image list control. So all the images stored in an image list control should be the same size. The images stored in an image list control can be no more than 256 by 256 pixels in size. All the images stored in the image list control should be of the same format. So for example, .png or .jpg, .bmp or whatever. So they should all be the same file type. So they're usually for small images such as like icons or thumbnails or something. Maybe just like little button images or something like that. So you can use them in games to display images around the game. I'm not sure if they really use C# for games. They might. I've heard that they use C++ quite heavily for game design, and a little bit in Java. I haven't really heard of them using C#, but it's probably possible. There's probably like a lot of Windows games in the Windows Store that they use C# for. Okay, so when you double click the image list tool in the toolbox, actually I could be lying, because I know that maybe some Windows games like that work on PC might be in C#. So when you find the image list control, so you can use, these docs explain to use a toolbox. So you have to have a picture box and an image list as well. So if you're trying to use a design editor, you can find the image list control in the component section in the toolbox. So when you can double click that. So when you double click the image list tool in the toolbox, the image list control is created in the component tray area, so it's like down here somewhere. Oh, sorry, I didn't load this yet. It's going to be down here somewhere, wherever the component tray is. I remember it being underneath the actual design window. So after you create an image list control, you should set its image size property to the size of the images that you plan to store in the control. So the default size is 16 by 16. So they can go from 0, 0 to 256, 256. So it's kind of tricky. So basically, we could add one to the form and then delete it. But I have the code here to actually just code something. I also have a lab to do. We could do that. I'm not gonna lie, these docs aren't very good explaining the design window stuff. They're good for the code, but not for design window stuff. So basically it says you can use the image property To add the images to the control in the properties window, click the ellipsis button that appears next to the images property. Okay. Then click the add button. Open dialog appears, select your image, add them, all that stuff. So if you know the index value for a particular image, you can retrieve that image from the image list control and display it in the picture box. So I have the code for that. So actually I'll show you guys how to do that here. Okay, so let's just do a small example to start. Sorry for the long intro here. So let's just try some codes. Just a code example here. So we're gonna assume something to start. So for example, assume my image list is the name of an image list control and my picture box is the name of a picture box control. So let's just go with assume let's just go with image list, assume image list, and assume image list and picture or picture box exist. Okay, so we could go we could just go picture box dot image property points to image list dot images of image list index 5. So it works like an array that assumes that the images are already added to the array. So that's all this really has. I have the full code for this, which will be showing you in a sec. So let's just talk about these properties a bit more. The statement gets the statement gets the image at index 5 from the image list and assigns it to the picture box control image property, obviously. Okay, so then the image is displayed in the picture box after that. So in code, you can determine the number of images that are stored in an image list control by getting the value of the control's image.count property. So this tells you, I guess, how many images are in the image list. So this code shows an example. Okay, so assume that, once again, image list is the name of an image list control and number images, so number images is the name of an int variable. So let's just say that we have num images points to 0 here or something, or int num images. Then here we could go so we could say number images points to image list. So image list dot images dot count. So that's how to access the image list count property. You have to go image list dot images dot count. So it's not just image list dot count. I don't think that would work. You can try it, but that's just the way how to do it. Okay, so what else can we do here? So we can actually start with this code here. So let's just start the lab here then. So for this lab, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need to download from the internet a card back of a card, so like back of a playing card. I just typed in back of card and it came up. You can try that, download it, save it to a path, like save it to a folder that you can access. For example, I have mine in the downloads folder. Then get 2 cards. I think I got 2 of hearts and 5 of hearts. I don't know, I just got 2 cards. You can get 5 cards. I think this example uses 5 cards. I'm just going to try for 2. And what else we're going to need? We're going to need a button here. Okay, so let's just go with actually coding this whole thing. So once you have the 3 cards saved somewhere to a folder that you can access on your computer, and we're gonna need a button. Then let's just start. I'm putting this together from scratch, so just might take me a bit to figure out what's happening here. So open Rider or Visual Studio. I'm using Rider. Okay, so now let's actually get the picture box, the image list, and the button on the form. So let's try doing that. Okay, so let's go to the code here. Okay, so we're gonna need some objects here. So we could go with private picture box. We're gonna call the class picture box. We're gonna call it picture box. Just gonna declare an object reference variable here. We'll go with private image list. Image list. That should work. Now let's go down to the. Actually, we need a button here as well. Private button. What does the button do, actually? Let's just see. Let me see what this button does. Actually, maybe let's change the names here. Okay, so let's change the picture box to just. That's fine. Actually, we could just leave it like that. Let's go with get button. Okay, let's just go with button. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's just save that, and we'll go to the next part here. Okay, so we're actually going to have to try to put this stuff somewhere, so it will instantiate the picture box to start in the constructor. We'll go with picture box. Points a new picture box. Then we'll go with picture box dot location points to new point. So picture box dot location points to new point, passing in 50 by 50. We'll just try that to start. Let's just see what else we have here. Okay, so we have picture box dot location points to new point. Let's go with picture box dot size points to new size. Will pass in 200. I think the max was 200. No, yeah, it was 256 by 256 for an image list. So we'll just go with that to start. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, sorry, so we have we're gonna add the controls now as well. So picture box dot, so we have our size in here. We'll go controls dot add. We'll add picture box. Let me just try running this here. I don't think anything's gonna pop up yet, but we can. Actually, it might just show something without a picture in it or something. We're gonna set the picture to a path in a sec. You won't be able to see this window because it's gonna pop up on my screen, but I'll just describe it to you. It popped up, but it's like it's blacked out, so don't worry about that. It's not ready yet, so here we'll go to the image list then. We'll go under here, we'll go to image list. Let me remove this the run tab or whatever. Image list points to new image list. Then we'll go with image list dot images dot add. Okay, here's where we're gonna add the images. And we're gonna have one displaying at the beginning. That makes sense. Dot add. Okay, so this part's a little tricky. So images dot image. So image list dot images dot add image dot from file. We'll go with a path here, and I include a path. I'm gonna do my path here. So just do the path to wherever your picture is. I have it in my downloads folder, so I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna try to remember what the name was. I think that's what it was called. Nope, sorry. That's correct. There's two left parentheses here. That means there's going to be two closing right parentheses. Okay. I'm just going to hopefully the camera doesn't stop. Okay, I'm just going to go with that, because I think that's what it was. And we're going to add the rest of the images as well. So I have 3 images. So we'll go with image. I think I said 2, but I meant 3. So this is the backup card. Then I'll add the rest of them. So this will be the 2 of hearts, or the 5 of hearts, whatever. I'll go with 2 of hearts dot png. Then we'll add the last one. You can save them to the same names as me, whatever you want. Put it in your downloads folder if you're confused. So we can go with images dot from file. So images dot, whoops, not from stream. Images dot from file. Passing in. Why is that not? Oh. Images dot, keeps doing that. Image dot from file. We'll go with a path here again. You can put it in your IDE folder if you want. Okay, so that should be fine. Now what do we do? We're going to set the image list as the picture box's image source. Okay, so we're going to, as you can see, we haven't really set the picture box's image property yet. So what do we want to display when the form loads? We want to display the picture box dot image property to show. We're going to point it to our image list dot images property of array or of image list index 0. There we go. So this should work. I'm just going to try that and see if it works. Hopefully it does. As long as I have the right names and stuff. Okay, that worked, but it was really small. Why is that? Okay, so the image size, so the image can be distorted if it's too big or too small. That's what it said in the docs. I'm going to try to figure out what size that is. Oh, it's way too big. Okay. Backup card would have been 0 anyways. So backup card's in the right dimension. Oh, it's just out of the dimensions actually. Let's change this to 256. Let's just see. If not, we can just do the code and pretend that the sizes were the same. Okay, so the size was too big for the... It was working. Okay, so what happens if I change this to 1? Run it. So it's working. It's just it's a really tiny picture. Okay, so it is working. It's just the picture's really tiny. Okay, so it's working at least. So let's set this to 0. Let's pretend everything was in the right size. The pictures have to be no bigger than 256 by 256 width and height pixels. So if you want, you can find a picture. I don't know how to find a picture like that. I don't even know how to change a picture size. But I'm sure there's some way to do it. There's probably like an online converter if you can't do it in edit crop. So we can pretend the pictures are within that size. So let's just continue with the code here, just to go over the concepts. Okay, so we're going to need also a get. We're going to need a button. So we'll go here to instantiate our button as well. Go with button. We go with button. Points a new button. Then we're going to need an event handler for that, so we'll go button plus equals. No, sorry, we'll go button dot click. Button dot click plus equals new event handler. And here we'll pass in a button underscore click. Oops. Then underneath the constructor we'll just instantiate that event handler, so we'll go private void button underscore click. And here we'll pass in object sender. An event argc. Okay, so that should work. So then we'll instantiate a local random object. So we'll go random points to new random. I remember when I first started Java and I tried to do this, I'd always call it rand. And then I'd memorize that. And I thought, because I had problems with instantiating objects, I would name them all the same thing every time. But now I realize that it's easy just to name them whatever you want. Usually I just go with the lowercase of the class. So if it's capital R for random, then I'll just go lowercase r for random. And I'll do that, and if I have more than one, I'll just start adding numbers to it, like the design window does. Or I'll name it something more specific. Okay, so we create a random object. Excuse me. Let's have some water here. Okay, so we created a random object, a local random object. Then here we'll create a local int, so we'll go int index points to random, so random dot next, passing in as a parameter card image, no sorry not card image, image list dot images dot count, as we did I think maybe down in the notes or something, right there. Same thing there. So you're pointing an int to it. And in this case, that's going to, I believe, return us a random int to this number minus 1 or something, which will actually get us an index. So every time you click the button, it gets you a new random number, which will get you a new random card. Sometimes it might be the same. So you could have done that differently, it's up to you. So here we'll go with picture box dot image property points to image list dot images of image list index. That should work. That's the whole code. So the problem is, it should work. It's just that we're not in the right size for the images. So the image is kind of small, you can't really see it that well. And our button wasn't added. Okay, so let's try to add the button somewhere. Sometimes I forget how the point works. You have to like kind of just play around with them. Like for example, the y-axis goes up and down, so it's like vertical. So I think here we go button dot location points a new point. Here we'll pass in, I think we want the x to be the same, the width, I think, and then we want the height to be below. So let's just okay, I don't know, let's just go with smaller below, higher up. Let's just go with 20. We go with button dot size points a new size. Here we'll pass in, I don't know, 100 by 100. Button dot text points to get card. Okay, so then we can add that to the control as well. So we can go with controls.add. We can add the button. And just hope that we can always just play around with the actual location of it, so we can just try and see if it works. Best thing is to use a layout, but that can be kind of tricky, so we'll do that later on. Okay, so we have our button. It works. It's just too high. Okay, so let's try to change that. Can we go with, what happens if I go, does it get bigger down? Let's try that. Nope, it's gone now. Okay, so we'll go with one. We'll try 10 here actually. Okay, it's still too high. Maybe 100 went too far. Let's try 75 for that one, see if that works. Nope, disappeared. Okay, that's silly. Okay, let me go with, I don't think that's working properly. Let's go, do we try 25? Let's try 15. I want it to go down, but it keeps going up. The button keeps moving higher. I assumed, like, going down would make it negative. Okay, that just keeps making it, it works. You can see the cards changing when I click the button. Okay, let's try to move this picture box over to 100 and see what that does. It could be messing up with the picture box dot size. We can't see it properly with that as well. Okay. It'd actually start to move over, I think. Let's go with 150 here. Okay, it's starting to move over. Let's go with 250 then. It could be that the button's going behind the picture box, but the rest of the picture box size is blacked out. That could be it. Okay, so now we got it. So the button's to the left of the picture box, or whatever, the image list, but it's, well, I guess it's the picture box and the image list together. But it works. When you click the button, it gets you a new card. So you can't see that it's a pop-up window, but if you run the code, it'll show you that. So that's the end of the tutorial. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked the video, you can like and subscribe to support the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. In the next video, what are we going to be doing? I think we're moving on to classes. Let's just see. Yeah, so we'll be going over classes, properties, storing class objects in arrays and lists. So basically, objects and class objects. So it's an important part. We're almost at the end here. We just have this, something else, and then databases. So just 3 more chapters. They're not that long. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. So all the videos will be in the C# playlist on my channel if you're interested in that. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Thanks.